Greetings, fellow adventurers in the realm of artificial intelligence. I'm Ernis, your guide through the labyrinth of groundbreaking research. Today, we're embarking on a journey into the surprisingly critical intersection of web agents and energy consumption. Promoting sustainable web agents, benchmarking and estimating energy consumption through empirical and theoretical analysis. Sounds like a mouthful, right? But trust me, it's a paper that sparks some truly important questions. Have you ever stopped to think about the energy footprint of those handy AI assistants that browse the web for you? I mean, these large language models, or LLMs, are power-hungry beasts. We're talking about systems that autonomously navigate websites, fill out forms, and compare prices, all at your command. But what's the environmental cost? The authors, Lars Krupp, Daniel Geisler, Vishal Banwari, Paul Lukovich, and Jakub Karalis, have bravely ventured into this largely unexplored territory. And what they've unearthed is, well, let's just say it's a wake-up call. Now, to make this journey as smooth as possible, I've prepared a little memory palace for us. Imagine a sprawling data center, not as a cold, sterile place, but as a vibrant, bustling city. Each building houses a different aspect of our investigation. First, we step into the benchmark boulevard. This is where the authors put various web agents to the test, specifically open-source ones. They're running them on different GPUs. Those powerful processors that make AI magic happen, and measuring their energy consumption using the Mind 2 web benchmark. It's kind of like an Olympics for web agents, but instead of medals, they're competing for energy efficiency. What they discovered is quite unexpected. More energy consumption doesn't necessarily translate to better performance. In fact, the most energy-efficient agent, AutoWeb-GLM, also performed the best in terms of average step success rate. It's like finding out that the most fuel-efficient car also wins the race. Now, let's stroll down Estimation Avenue. This is where the authors tackle the challenge of estimating energy consumption for proprietary LLMs, like the one powering OpenAI's Laser Agent. Since we can't directly measure their energy use, we have to rely on theoretical estimations, piecing together data from available literature. But here's the rub, these estimations can be wildly inaccurate. Even for MindAct, a fully open source agent, the estimation overestimated its energy consumption by a factor of 7. That's like saying your electric bill is 7 times higher than it actually is. Why such a discrepancy? Well, it boils down to a lack of transparency. Without knowing the model parameters and processes used by these proprietary LLMs, it's like trying to assemble a puzzle with half the pieces missing. This leads to the third stop. Transparency Terrace. The authors emphasize the urgent need for greater transparency in reporting the energy usage of LLMs. They propose metrics to report and a benchmark for proprietary LLM-driven agents that allow comparison of their energy efficiency. It's like requiring all cars to display their MPG so consumers can make informed choices. Then we have Carbon Cost Corner. The authors don't just stop at energy consumption, they also calculate the carbon dioxide emissions associated with each web agent. To make it even more relatable, they convert these emissions into the equivalent distance traveled by an average car. Running laser once on the Mind 2 web benchmark is equivalent to driving a car 181 kilometers. That's like driving from Kaiserslautern to Frankfurt. Meanwhile, the emissions from AutoWeb-GLM, the most efficient agent, are equivalent to only 0.6 kilometers. That's just around the block. So, what's the big picture? The authors highlight the stark differences in energy consumption between web agents and advocate for dedicated metrics to measure energy consumption in benchmarks. They envision a future where we evaluate web agents not only on their performance but also on their energy efficiency. But here's a question for you. How do we incentivize developers to prioritize energy efficiency? The authors suggest augmenting existing benchmarks with standardized energy consumption metrics. It's like giving developers extra points for building green web agents. As we conclude our tour, I want to leave you with a sense of hope. This paper is not just about identifying a problem, it's about paving the way for solutions. By promoting transparency, establishing benchmarks, and raising awareness, we can collectively steer the development of web agents towards a more sustainable future. Thank you for joining me on this illuminating journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep striving for a brighter, greener future for AI. And remember, even the smallest actions can make a big difference in the grand scheme of things.